Blast me too, Bermuda. It's time for a Mad Merlin's TT video. Today, Hornby Class 08 Shunter. Hi guys, Merlin here coming to you with a brand new TT video. So recently I've been picking up a few things to help encourage me to get on my TT project. And after reading the latest TT Club magazine from Hornby, I saw in there a lovely article about a laser cut MDF kit of a set of workers' cottages. So I decided to jump onto Scale Model Scenery and see what else they had for the TT range. So yeah, I did pick up the workers' cottage and I picked up a few other little bits which we'll look at in a different video. But today we are going to be taking a look at this. It is the brand new Hornby TT 120 Class 08 Shunter. Yeah, lovely little diesel Loco. I've never actually owned one. And yeah, this is my first. So I want a shunter for my layout at some point. We are still probably another year or so away from the pannier tanks, which are due to come out sometime 2024. We will know more in autumn's issue of the TT Club. So I decided to pick this guy up for my future project. So yeah, he's going to be my main little shunter on my layout. And yeah, to say he was well packaged is a little bit of an understatement. He came in a box which was totaling 20 times bigger than this little box actually is. It was 2 wide, 5 tall, and easily 2 deep of one of these boxes. I see why they did it, because currently Hornby is giving away free catalogues with orders over, I think it's £50. So yeah, there's a catalogue involved in the packaging, and that itself was in its own packaging anyway. So they really overpackaged, but I can see why. I mean, really, I'd have preferred them to send the catalogue in its own envelope. That would have been fine. And then send this guy in a smaller box. It probably would have cost them a lot less, both materials and postage costs, I'd have thought. But yeah, at least I'm not getting 2 packs of track to a giant A4 box like some people have been getting. I'm yet to order track, so we'll have to wait and see what does happen when I do get around to doing it. I'm still in the process of planning the layout. I've got a few rough designs down. I keep umming and ahhing between doing a circuit and starting to do a layout that can be extended that runs end to end, which I've never really done before, so that'd be something nice and different for a change. Yeah, I'm going to have to look up a few videos online, see what people are doing, that sort of thing. So yeah, final bits before we get into the actual meat of this video and look at the locomotive. Don't forget to, of course, like this video if you are enjoying my content. And if you are, please do consider subscribing to the channel, as it's the only way to keep up to date with all my mad content. I'm also, of course, on Patreon if you'd like to help support the channel. There's various different tiers for the TT range and for various other bits that I do on the channel. There is also, of course, for free, you can drop a comment down below. Let me know your favourite. Let's go for 060 locomotives. Mine, personally, has to be the pannier tank. It's just a quintessential little GWR loco. And yeah, I like it. It's one of my favourites. So, right, let's jump over to the table and we'll take a look at the 08 Shunter. So here we have the lovely little Class 08 Shunter. So we've got the standard red and yellow Hornby packaging with TT 120 up at the top. So On the side it is item TT3001M, the BR class 08060, era 7, locomotive 808489. So yeah, DCC ready, minimum radius curve there 310 millimeters. And yeah, he looks a lovely little shunter. So just words and stuff on the back there, pretty much it. So yeah, as I said at the beginning of the video, I've never actually owned an 08 in all my years of model railway. So this is my first one, and it's going to be definitely a first, but I have some pretty good high expectations for this guy. So without further ado, let's take this guy out. So we'll go full vertical and we'll take a look at him. So I have opened this already just to check upon receiving it, but this is going to be my first time taking it out of the packaging. So we got the lovely little red tray there, and we got our plastic clamp pack as well, plus we have our instruction book, so we'll take a look at that in a sec. So this is what we're here for, so I'll take off that. So first off then, we have a little baggie of accessories. We got brake pipes, screw link couplings, and we even have a set of vacuum brakes there as well, as we can model it with or without the vacuum brakes, which is pretty cool. Nice little touch there. So let's open it up and pick them up. So take that off, and there we have him. So yeah, really lovely little Loco, and that nice sea green blue sort of color, turquoise, really dark turquoise pretty much. So yeah, lovely little locomotive. We got details such as the whistle, the warning signs, the gauge there is even picked out. We got his running number there on the side. Then we have the front with the wasp stripes. All buffers are intact. I have seen in a review by Sam's Trains that he's had a detached buffer, so I have a slight problem there. The only thing I've got slightly loose is this ladder on this side. I might have to try and stick that down with a bit of glue. But yeah, looking really good. We've got nice window glazing. There is some interior detailing, though it's kind of hard to make out. But we do have a nice control board in there at least. And there's even room to fit a figure, which is pretty cool. I'm taking another look. So yeah, contacts on all 6 wheels. 3 screws there for the base plate. And then I believe there is 4 main screws to help remove the actual bodywork itself. So let's take a look at the instructions, which will hopefully give us more information. So yeah, here we have our class 08060 diesel locomotive, running instructions and operating maintenance. So lubrication points, so contact points on all the wheels, as well as the main exposed gear and on the coupling rods there as well. So yes, we have our accessories. So we have front and rear brake pipes, vacuum pipes, as well as dummy chain link. And then we have a left and right tank, depending on how you want to display your model. So yeah, to remove the actual body, we remove the front 2 screws and the furthest back 2 screws, and then we can take the actual locomotive off. And you can see the interior detail, which we'll have a look at in a minute. And then we see here we have our DCC socket. So it's a 6-pin socket with 6-pin decoder there. So it just fits nicely on that flat shelf there, which is pretty cool. And then we have our usual safety notes, etc. on the back. Right, then let's take a look at this guy working mechanism. So we'll take him apart and see what he looks like on underneath. So what we do is take off our 4 screws. Nice view of my hand there. That should be, yeah, there we go, perfect. So there we see our decoder socket there, ready to be attached. No flywheel like the instructions show though, which, despite the fact they've actually tidied up the interior from Sam Train's review, they could have fitted in a flywheel, but we see there isn't one. Yeah, still should be pretty good to help get our Loco running. Right. Speaking of running, let's get him, I'll run him in, then we will get him onto my track and give him a little running session with a goods train. Okay, so I've got my track set up, just a simple oval with a siding there. I've got the little 08 down on the table. Haven't run him in yet. I'm going to just give a straight out of the box test, see how well he performs. So I've got him set in the correct direction. Let's just slowly increase the power. That's about a third power, and he's crawling quite nicely there. Reduce it up to about halfway. Yeah, that's going pretty well. Hard to see. Let's see if I can focus. Yeah, we'll get him as he comes round. Slow him down to the stop. Flip into reverse, and oh, he's cut out. There we go. Didn't quite like reverse. Might work better once he's fully run in. But yeah, he does run quite smoothly, straight out of the box, and his speed isn't too bad actually. I know when I watched Sam's trains, he was worried it's a little too fast, but I think he plunders along quite nicely for a shunting loco. So I'll get this guy fully running, and then we'll give you a little bit of a running session with some rolling stock. So our little 08 has been running now, and I think it's time we give him a nice little running session with a small goods train. So in my siding over there, I've got a couple of open wagons, a couple of vans, and a brake van there. So what we'll do So we'll flip the points. We'll back him onto the train. Has he connected? That is the important bit. Come on, change direction. Oh, that's why. Let's try. Nope, he hasn't. So we have to go back a little bit faster. And he's cut out on me. There. So there you see he had a fair bit of torque there trying to push back against the siding. So now let's try him in forward direction. Yes, he's picked up. Change the point and we'll let him run for a few minutes. He's just about half power there, going about his normal speed. So while he's running in, I'll give you a little bit of information about the good old 08s. So yeah, built between 1952 and 1962, the 08s, or the 060 diesel electrics, were often used as shunting locomotives. Almost 1,200 of these locomotives were built, all to the same basic design, and were in pretty much every yard from Penzance to Inverness and Holyhead up to Ramsgate. So yeah, introduced, as I said, during the 1950s. They were only ever exclusively used for shunting duties within the larger stations and even at the Swindon works. So yeah, the locomotives existed up until the 80s and 90s. They were even modified to include modern vacuum braking systems, and some of the older models were withdrawn from service in the early to late 70s. A few examples are still existing on preservation lines and are still a much seen locomotive in the shunting yards. So there we have it. That's our 08. He's had a good first outing. Pretty impressive little locomotive. I'm really impressed with the detail. So I will give you my final thoughts, but for that we'll need to set back up the studio and we'll get this guy on the turntable and I'll give you my final thoughts on this lovely little locomotive. So there we have the brand new Hornby Class 08 Shunter, the 060DE diesel electric locomotive. And yeah, he's a fantastic little model. I have never owned a 08 in my life, and I've been doing model railways now for the good part of 20 years. So yeah, it's a nice little locomotive. Pleased to say detail and the overall construction of the model is fantastic. I do have that flimsy ladder on the right hand side, but yeah, other than that, it's a fantastic little model. Very few faults. Nice little accessory bag to add some extra detail for your own personal liking. I am going to try and install one of my TT scaled figures inside, just so I can add a little bit of extra internal detailing. Not too sure how easy that's going to be. It'll probably be a matter of taking the top off, finding the interior section and removing that, and then simply attaching the figure and reinstalling everything. For paint wise, I'm not going to keep him as the colours he is, though that would be nice. I'm probably going to paint him up a pretty bog standard BR sort of black Loco colour. And yet have him as a yard shunter for my future layout plans. But I am, of course, waiting on the 060 pannier tank that is coming out in 2024, I think it's supposed to be. There'll be more information on that in the next issue of the TT Club magazine, so I'm holding out for that in the autumn 2023. And yeah, like I said, it's a fantastic little model. No real troubles. It ran in pretty well. It went straight out of the box pretty well as well, so no qualms there. So pricing then, these guys are at retail for $136.99. That is a little pricey. They originally, when they first came out back in the early part of 2023, they were $118.99. So where the extra 20-ish pound has come from, I'm not too sure. From what I can see, it's pretty much all the same as when I saw Sam Train's review of it. There's not a lot of difference. Maybe they have retooled it a bit to go at a better speed, as if I remember rightly, Sam did mention that it is a little bit on the nippy side, but I thought it went pretty well at its half speed for running in. But as I'm a member of the TT Club, though, I did manage to save that extra £20, and I paid £116.55 for it. So yeah, weren't too bad a price in the end. Would I recommend this to anyone? If you are a fan, of course, of the 08s, yes, I would recommend it. If you're looking for a small shunter that is not locked to a specific era, this might be your best bet until we get a steam locomotive, especially if you are planning on doing a steam era train set, much like myself. But this guy is going to be around sort of late period of the railway's existence, coming in, doing a bit of shunting work, while the steam trains focus more on the passenger side of things. Yeah, future plans for my railway is to obviously get some beautiful pannier tanks, maybe a Dean's Good when they eventually do one of those. Definitely adding some extra stuff to my GWR themed fictional railway. But I think I have yammered on quite long enough about this guy. So final thoughts, it is a fantastic little locomotive. The detail is amazing. They have the inbuilt ladder plates on the front. Handrails are separately fitted for the most part. It looks good going around the track, and it even looks good just here on the turntable, pretty stationary. So yeah, nice detailing, lovely glazing on the windows. The printing is fantastic, not a bit to fault on that really. For a score out of 5, I'd probably give this guy a solid 4, maybe down to 3.5 if I factor in the loose ladder at the front there. But yeah, I think a solid 4 for this little locomotive. He's definitely going to be seeing use on my layout for the forthcoming future. So there we have it. Let me know what you thought of this review and what you thought of the 08 in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, please do give this video a little like, as it helps gets the channel noticed, as does subscribing and dropping a comment down below. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you for more TT videos in the near future. Thank you again, and goodbye.